Hi Mike, Sean here from TEM Systems. Thanks for getting back to us. I think it's been just over a year since we last spoke, I think. Yes, we have developed the background system, Total Production Manager, in a number of ways since we last spoke. The two key ones I think that would be of benefit to you, and the biggest difference are we've actually made the purchasing live now, so that as you're purchasing materials and items, that's automatically updating those costs in the background for all of the items that you are putting out quotes for, and we can set that up for you to automatically update your quotation prices as well. So we'll have a look at that in the TPM section in a short while, but what we're going to do today is just a quick run through the quick quotes again, so you can see where that is. There are some small improvements in that. We've put more drop down boxes to speed up the input of basically everywhere that we can, where that data is standard, and we've also included what we call a descriptive hover on the cursor, so that you'll see as that moves across certain areas and cells, it gives you information as to what's in that, which will be useful to you, say, while you're on the phone talking to a client. But let's go to the quick quotes anyway and have another quick look at that. So here we are. What I'll do is I'll do a quote as if somebody's on the phone to me discussing it. I would imagine you get quite a few regular clients calling in, and basically if you're updating your contacts database, all of those details will come in automatically as you're talking to that client. If it's a new client, obviously you would need to take all those details from them at the start of the conversation, but you'd have to do that as a matter of course anyway. But for the purposes of the demonstration, we'll just have a look at that as if it's somebody that you actually know. So let's say we've got a call coming in from AEF, and it's Adam, and let's have a look here. So there's AEF there. Now we can drop down the list here from the customer code or the customer name, and again that's searchable by just tapping in the first couple of letters of his name. So right, let's get on with the quote anyway. So it's AEF. It is Adam who's, we can change this if we wanted, but it is Adam who's talking to us, and I'm prompted now to, that's me that's doing the quote. And he's asking me about a 4.2 millimeter panel sign, which is going to be by 600. So again, this has popped up from a previous quote, and he's also going to want some built-up letters on those as well. So it's a general mixture. But otherwise, all the details are in there for the quote, bar the headers. We can again, sorry, I went too quick on that. You can choose which particular header you want to produce on the quote as well, and also you can add specific notes to the quotation here as well. But I'm talking too much and not quoting, so let's get on with it. He's after aluminium panels, and he's looking at that. There's going to be 600 high, so that's here, and you can see the floating dialog box here already picking up the detail in the background, which I can be discussing with him. But when he's decided exactly which one he wants, literally we import that into the quotation. He's looking for the quantity, which is 4.2. As soon as we click, and it's in. And now he wants some acrylic, flat acrylic letters in the background, so we're going to go with that, with non-serif ones he wants, and he's looking at that at 400mm high. So we select those. Quantity Adam, yeah, he's looking for 8, which is great. And he's also looking for built-up aluminium letters with acrylic faces, again non-serif. So, and there we are at 400 high, which is great. And he's looking for another 8 of those. And also he wants those, let's just click on that, he wants those illuminated, so let's pick up the LED lights, and for 400mm letter LEDs, that's in quantity 8 as well. And of course, and that's bringing up additional items that you would want with that, which would also be the layout drawings. Again, another list for 400mm, quantity is going to be 8 again, and that's it, quote done. So literally we can print that on the screen here, so while I'm talking to him, it's got more of the detail that's sort of built up, particularly with those built up letters. We'll have a look at that in a minute. It's 2 pages long, and there we we are, and all of this is basically pre-printed. So basically then we can immediately email that to him and or keep a copy of that ourselves, but obviously I'm not printing that off the screen now. So we can let's go straight to TPM and have a look at how those prices came in and what happened. Essentially we have templates that create all of the items, and they're really fast. Basically we multiply those up and we set the bulk of the templates we'll set up for you, but basically you can create your own templates using this button here for additional items. And then if you're scaling items up or down, we use this ourselves when we were setting it up. So for example here, if you're scaling a letter up from 400 to 800, which is a 100% increase, it's a prompt to tell you it's actually a 300% increase in material on that. Let's say for example that was going to be simply a 50% increase in width, and that's telling you that it's actually 125% increase in the material. We did that a lot, you can imagine, with the flat letters. But essentially how we get the prices, you put your own technical breakdown in here. This is where the details appear that were printed on the quote. But to get these costs, we got here, so this is for the 4.2 meter panel. You can be very detailed on your processes that are involved, and here we've actually got, and this is per meter of a folded panel, so it's working out exactly how many, and this is 10.8 minutes. They are digital or decibel minutes, and that's 0.8 of a minute. And or again hours if that's easier and faster for you. And basically it's picking up the department rates here. This is secondary rates, so this is if you're using the overtime rates for the jobs as well. If you know the job's going to be produced on a Saturday, for example, and you're doing a specific quote for that, you can use those rates instead. Let's have a look at the materials on this particular item. So we've just got the aluminium, and we're going to, we said spray paint here. This is just a representative cost, but again you can be very detailed, so that's 2.99 pence per litre on the paint usage, and that will then give you raw costs which are coming in from your pay rates here. So this is the raw costs that you're expecting that item to be, so it's your total time spent on that job. There's your raw cost of the material as well, so total for raw costs for one item is £68.93. We can then apply either flat rate to uplift the hours at the rate you want to charge out, or in actual fact now for a particular client, and we can do this for you as well, we could put a percentage uplift across each department, so that depending on which department you use for a specific item, the uplift is included against that specific department rate. So for example with your laser rates you might want to have that much higher. And there's a markup on the material. Again, we've got it as a percentage rate up, and contractor costs, so that might be for galvanizing, or if you're sending anything out to be cut or finished. And that's going to give you a recommended retail price per item. Now you can adjust this whichever way you want to. Again, it's got another percentage markup over the top of that. You can use that if you wanted to uplift it further, but in this case I've actually overwritten it here. And when that's overwritten, or the final price that we believe we want to take forward to the quotation, this is where the quotation quantity costs came up on the list in quick costs. So we can set our range here. So this is going through on the number of meters that that panel will be used at, and basically and you can set and adjust and change any of these. So let's say for example for just the 1 meter ones we might want to put another £10 on that, so let's say, and that will be reset now in the quick quotes section as well. So so you can finally adjust those range of costs that are going through onto your quotation at this point. If you wanted to change, let's say for example the costs on the departments are changing, and this is where the live updates come in. These rates automatically update, and that will obviously be reflected in your raw costs, and because this is a calculation field, it will update these rates here. Now we've done a manual override, so we can be monitoring that and still keep that straight, or if we're allowing ourselves to run with that so that the percentage markup and everything is coming through automatically, it will automatically change this figure at the bottom that's driving your quotes. Now let's have a look what happens if you keep an eye on the range of costs here. If this figure is increased, let's say it's going to go up by about 50%, so to 150, and if we watch what's happening to these prices here, the entire range updates to reflect that. So basically you don't have to change every single one of those prices. It's all driven from effectively a median point, roughly in the middle of your costs. Right, so that's all good. Let's move out of here. We'll have a quick look at a more detailed item, just again to refresh ourselves. So this is the built-up letters, and this is where you would put the additional details that are going to be shown on the quote here. So a quick look at the hours on this. This is going through quite a number of departments. It's in design, fabrication, spraying, and laser cutting as well for those particular signs. Materials, again you've got a number of materials on this particular item, and let's have a look. So we're going to have a more complex financial overview here. So what's happening is, as well, it's actually because we've got the quantity for this particular job, so we are looking for this quotation here is for a specific job, so it's actually building up the expected times and costs for that particular job. So what we'll do now, we'll go and have a look further in the TPM system at a job where you can see how important those items are when you have committed the quote. So let's look at this particular job here. We'll have a look at a summary, and you can see he's got his estimated hours. Basically these are what would have gone into the quote, and this is giving us estimated values on that job. And then as the job's running through and you're booking times against that job, and there's no materials particularly on this one, but with the times, let's say for example here the estimated in admin was 2.6. There's actually been 3 hours booked against it, which is slightly over, so it automatically flags up that is it's 115.4, and it tells you what that differential in cost is. Those departments that work within their budgets here, that's great. Now that might be advising you that if that happens every time on this type of job, you might be thinking, okay, we're overestimating, and you may be able to cut your estimates on that particular product and item if that's happening time and time again. And here again we've got one that's run slightly over. So effectively the estimated costs, and this is the one we're using for our quotations, raw costs, estimated hours are 90.2. We're actually taking 92.5, and that's giving us a difference of £2.30. So that's really close. So I'd be fairly happy with that one. Let's have a look. Yep, so that's pretty close. And essentially that's it. We do have on later versions of this, we've got more detail. This can be set to automatically alert you if you wanted on a report every time a job runs over, and the importance of that is, let's say for example it's in the admin and the design stage, or it may be at the laser stage early on in the job that it's running over, and we can set those alerts so that even when the job's running through the shop floor, you will see if your times are up to date, fuel collecting times daily or hourly, some companies want to, it will flag up for you immediately when any job is running over estimate, and that gives you the chance to look at it straight away. But all of this is customizable to you, and that's what we do for you within the price that we quote for you. I think that pretty much just covers everything, Mike. So if you want to call me again, please feel free to, and we'll happily come over and speak to you again. Thanks for that, Mike. Cheers. Goodbye.